They say don't mess with Texas, and I experienced all of that on my last day there. I have learned one more thing about traveling. Some things will leave you speechless, but then it turns you into a storyteller. Let me explain. It didn't take us long to get our luggage checked in, and in 2 ticks it was my turn to go through customs. Everything went smoothly. I performed the hands-up position like a pro. I stepped out as ordered. I collected my flip-flops, handbag, scarf and jacket, and I got myself back into the wheelchair. While waiting for the husband to collect all of himself and both our backpacks, everything seemed to be fine, yet for some reason the other backpack was held back. It was a rather dull-looking black and grey backpack with a strip or two of turquoise in between. Not one I would choose to use, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. You see, my son offered me his old backpack, since I ended up with more stuff to bring back than I took. I was relieved to see that his backpack was finally on the move to my side, and that is when things became very interesting. The backpack ended up about 3 feet away from me, and a very seriously looking young man was busy preparing himself. He slipped on a pair of blue plastic gloves, which reminded me immediately of a visit to the gynae. Don't ask me why. Maybe it was the intensity of his prepping. Without saying a word, I could see his intention was to get to the bottom of this dull mystery. Very carefully he started taking the contents out of the bag. 2 bags of coffee, compliments of Steve, my brother-in-law. Mr. Gynae moved his left hand to a cabinet on his left side and used what looked like a swab, and he moved it all around the edges of both bags of Ruta Maya. Satisfied that it held no immediate danger to anyone around him, he placed it aside. Then he removed my sandstone candle with the crystal. Same procedure, and he was happy to move this out of the way as well. The next object in his hand was the candle I got from Ingrid 2 nights before. It's got 3 wooden wicks and it crackles when it's lit. I called it my Ingrid by the fire candle. The thing is this. Ingrid wrapped this candle and made more than doubly sure that no harm would come to it on the way back to Ireland. The brown paper she used covered the candle about 3 times, and she used sellotape on about every fold. While packing, I thought it so neatly wrapped that I didn't bother taking it out or covering it in bubble wrap as I did all the other candles. The other thing is this. Ingrid has a cat called Dexter, and Dexter loves letting his hair down while taking his pleasure in catnip, and it is with her catnip fingers that she so lovingly wrapped my sounds like fire candle. But back to the man with his blue gloves. I was totally mesmerized. Watching him was like listening to a symphony of wonder, wondering and waiting to see what the next unfolding would bring. When it produced nothing but a candle, it was swap time again, and it was right there when a very uncomfortable thought came to my mind. I suddenly remembered Dexter with no inhibitions, leopard crawling through the catnip, pausing, sniffing, reveling in it, then rolling over to play dead for a few seconds. I remembered walking to the bathroom, very close, or even through his pleasure spot. I remember Dexter getting onto my lap, adamant to make me pay attention to him, which I did. Are they suspecting that I am a catnip user? I didn't have time to wonder for too long, because the next moment I was ordered up and out of the wheelchair, called to attention by a girl with a Tina Turner hairstyle. "Ma'am, I'm going to pat you down, do you understand?" A few things raced through my mind. 1, you don't have to shout, girl, I'm old, not deaf. 2, a pat down. Is that not what you do to a dog or a cat, especially a cat high on catnip? And before I could even think of 3, she shouted, "Ma'am, do you understand?" 4, yes. "Ma'am, when I pat you down, I'm going to..." And she proceeded describing exactly what this pat down entails. I was just so relieved she didn't say put down that I just nodded and agreed. "Ma'am, do you understand?" "Yes, just get on with it already." "Ma'am, do you want a private screening?" From pat down to private screening, what the fuck? No, because I want everyone around me to see how you are going to pat me down, Mini Tina. And so it started. I had to plant my feet on the printed shoes on the carpet. I had to stretch my arms out to the side, palms up. Started north, working her way down south. After what felt like an eternity, she shouted, "Ma'am, you can drop your arms now." Thank heavens they were getting tired. Then started the visit to Strokestown. Up, around, underneath my boobies. I couldn't help noticing that both my nipples were still in an excellent working order. Down the tummy, between pants and body, and down my legs. I was ordered to turn around and assume the same position, feet on shoe prints. Same procedure. Then I heard her say, "Ma'am, please spread your legs." I have never in my life had to do a spread eagle in public, but you don't mess with Texas, so I obeyed her order. Or rather, I tried to, because my sciatic nerve, giving me hell for 10 weeks already, point blank refused to spread that left leg of mine any wider, so the right one had to walk the extra mile. She made very sure that nothing was stuck into or sticking out of any hole of mine, that nothing was hidden between my 4 P's, my pants, my panty, and my private parts. "Clear. Thank you, ma'am. You can step away now." Step away, she says. Fuck it. It's more like hobbling back to my wheelchair. Too grateful to finally sit down. In the meantime, they got hold of my handbag and turned it inside out and upside down. My phone was swapped. My flip-flops were taken away to be swapped and screened for hidden devices. The woman going through my handbag looked up and saw my husband watching this whole tragic comedy. "What are you doing here?" "I'm waiting for my wife," said he. By then I found my tongue again and I said, "And if he goes anywhere without me, he'll be in deep shit." She managed a laugh. Finally, my handbag and my flip-flops were given an all clear. The candle was given an all clear, although he wanted to know should I give her the candle. My wheelchair operator was just too happy to flip my flops back onto my feet. And this is a story that I will enjoy telling over and over. I see on their website someone called them overall very poor management and used different rules from any other United States airport. Officers show muscle flexing. And it left me chuckling a bit because I can tell you that little Tina Turner lookalike was flexing her tongue muscle way more than she needed to. But to Texas I will return, for I left a piece of my heart in Texas. So from me, Parsax, if you enjoyed listening to this, let's meet again next week. Till then, ciao ciao.